Previously on Culture Breakdown, Scully pulling away from Franklin as Franklin is reaching out to Scully.
He was always a girl who knew everyone. Always in the right place, right time.
Yo, this reporter drinks a lot, and Khadijah is full of rage and vengeance. Snowfall Season 4 is over with, so I'm here to bring you all the hidden details, Easter eggs, subtle foreshadowing, and this is part 2 where I break down episodes 6 through 10. So if you haven't seen part 1, stop and check that out right now. Because the second half of the season really heats up and I have plenty more details to cover, but a lot of this stuff is a callback to the first 5 episodes. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the breakdown.
Sir? How did you get this number?
I'm calling to tell you your brother's dead.
What?
Matthew's dead. It was a heart attack. Not that you couldn't have guessed that. Grateful that I contacted you at all. This is your fault. It should have been you.
This scene is just Reed's breaking point. But as I pointed out last episode, this is the last straw, not the first. Because his destructive behavior and habits already existed. He reached his breaking point just like Leon, and there's more of this to come. While Wanda is rehabbing, a section of Ronald Reagan's second inaugurational speech fades in and out, and it says this. So I got interested and looked it up, and that section that they were playing in the show is right here.
Federal government can play a part. As an older American, I remember a time when people of different race, creed, or ethnic origin in our land found hatred and prejudice installed in social custom and, yes, in law. There's no story more heartening in our history than the progress that we've made toward the brotherhood of man that God intended for us. Let us resolve there will be no turning back or hesitation on the road to an America rich in dignity and abundant with opportunity for all our citizens.
Now, ain't that a load of crap? What progress, especially in 1985, the time of this speech. The stories of Snowfall shows you exactly everything you need to know about our country and the laws and the government. This clip was inserted to show you the hypocrisy of the government and the lies, as people are literally suffering from the very powers that be. This baby being pushed in, it symbolizes Wanda. Now this is the same detective who's been working behind the scenes with the reporter, and in this scene, he shows up to press Franklin about Leon.
You happy to hook it up?
Great. If you bring your friend Leon to join us.
Afraid I don't know who you mean.
No? Short guy. Afro. Kills kids.
Sorry.
This can be really easy on you. You just tell me where he is. I'll leave you alone.
You want to run us in for excessive bass?
You want to take us in for excessive bass? That's a play on words and sarcasm. And Jerome's shop is the reason why Franklin is able to have these speakers in the car, but they have different hidden compartments because Jerome owns the speaker shop. You know, it's always interesting to me how in TV shows, the craziest person in the room be the most religious.
Fucked up, man. And he gonna keep punishing us and taking our people if I don't repent.
Back up on that sherm already, huh?
Nigga, I'm not high.
All right.
I'm telling you, man, we being judged by forces that's not of this earth, man.
The scenes with Wanda show you systematically what's wrong with our country. How does a recovering drug addict literally be thrown right back out to the streets with no plan and no assistance? What hope do they have for her? What assistance are they providing? What was the point of even getting her clean if you're just gonna put her right back? While Reed is here lashing out, Tia's lurking in the background and is in the right place at the right time yet again. Now she knows that this is the plug. Khadijah's in the kitchen making homemade chloroform, which apparently is possible. I won't go into how, because I did research it, but bleach is definitely an ingredient. Yo, check this out. As they pull in, you can see Khadijah right there hiding in the shadows. And crazy, nice little detail. Here's some nice attention to details. You can see where the bullet hole went through Franklin right here and how he's healing from it. And there's another one.
I got a question for you, if we're asking questions now. The man who was here the other night, what's his story?
Just a man I do business with.
See, the last scene we saw her notice and recognize who the plug was, and now she's asking about it to confirm her suspicions. So I know a huge issue people had online with this scene was how did two small women move a 300 plus 50-pound man around? And here's how they did it. They had a flatbed, and they probably got it from this warehouse, which explains everything. And they have a station wagon so they can fit the flatbed and his dead body in that station wagon.
And when they get here, should I tell them the shelter's being funded by your son's drug money, or would you like to? I've got proof of everything, Alton. Your son, your wife, hell, what your entire family's into. But here's the thing. I've also got proof about who's really behind it.
So the reporter threatens and gives Alton an ultimatum, and this is kind of where everything breaks down. Alton decides to make the wrong decision. Another great attention to detail, 146 West 11th Street is actually the Herald Examiner's building. As far as I can tell, it's just a boarded up and abandoned building today, but that is great attention to detail yet again on the show's behalf.
Run inside, tell them to call an ambulance.
Want to talk to the boy, or should I?
No, I'll tell him. Thank you.
Do. Your father was an amateur Bible scholar. He knew all the problems of the Old and the New Testament.
So all of these bad things are happening. Alton's good nature is what ultimately leads him to make this horrible, dangerous decision of speaking to the reporter.
If they wanted to jack us, stay with a tribe. Means they wanted to follow us. Like they know he's about to go meet the plug. Let's go make this deal. I'll worry about the rest of it after.
So Franklin catches on to someone trying to get his plug, which is a big hint to how he figures everything out later on.
Want to share? You know, as much as I am a great believer in the medicinal qualities of the coca plant, I can't say I endorse this as a method of coping.
Now Reed's cocaine use is becoming a huge problem. Leon is back to taking care of the projects now. He even got them new washers and dryers, which earlier homeboy had said,
Washer's been broke for a while now. I think that we're probably gonna have to revisit this financial relationship. Thank you.
Wait, where are you going? Where are you going? What the? Hey, what's your problem?
My problem is that it's an unsatisfactory answer.
See, this is what I was talking about last episode. Reed's judgment is off, and he is acting out of character just like Gustavo's did when his family was dead.
But I also know how deeply your anger runs.
My anger.
What the government did to you and your family.
And to yours, what they've done to people like us for generations.
Yes, which is why I'm also afraid of what they'll do to us if you expose these kinds of secrets.
So this conversation finally sheds light on her motives. She's jaded by something that the government did to her, but she doesn't heed anyone's warning whatsoever. Irene is starting to realize that everything she always wanted means absolutely nothing if you don't have those around you who love you to celebrate.
Did you hear it from me before we publish? This is the one, Henry. The story I've been chasing all these years.
Well then, congratulations.
Wow. Take it easy. Not sure I can handle all this enthusiasm.
You can't have your happiness or meaning wrapped up in accomplishment, because if you reach those goals, then what? She doesn't love herself, and that's the sorrow that she's drowning in. She finally reached her peak, and it still doesn't provide the happiness that she's searching for.
I swear to God, following behind you dumb motherfuckers is gonna be the death of me.
Well, actually following behind them is what got her shot.
You are killing us all. Don't you see that?
Don't never call me son again.
Now the relationship is officially over.
For now, we see through a glass darkly.
Fucking poetry shit. You should leave.
But then face to face.
This is a Bible verse, and I guess it's also a Shakespeare poem as well. And the meaning of this phrase, which is also the title of this episode, is to have an obscure or imperfect vision of reality. The Apostle Paul said that we do not now see clearly, but at the end of time. I think that's a pretty prophetic word for this episode, and quite frankly for the show.
Why didn't you just take the money and run? I don't understand. Who the fuck are you? Tell me the fucking truth.
I don't know anything.
I need the truth.
I don't
from you,
understand.
And I don't have a lot of time to sit here and play this whatever this fucking game is with you, huh?
I am a banker.
Boy, these drugs got Reed paranoid, man.
Did you ever hear of Tormenta de Toca? It's 14th century. Used in the Inquisition. And then the British used it on the Arabs and the Jews in Palestine. Tormenta de Toca.
And that's what they used to call waterboarding during the Spanish Inquisition.
I know that's Franklin Saint they're writing about.
Once you start talking to gangsters and the CIA, that's Jim Jones territory right there.
Jim Jones? What that crazy fool got to do with drugs in L.A.?
Do you think one white man killed 100 poor black niggas down there by himself?
How you think Franklin keeps slipping out of trouble, huh? Because he's dealing with the devil himself. On top of cheap cocaine, the plug get out of jail free card. That's some walk on water stuff right there.
You really ain't know there was a reporter sniffing around.
No. The daddy show shit did. Snitching ass motherfucker.
So everyone is now debating the morality, the severity, and the consequences over this article. And something Alton didn't take into consideration is she may have excluded the names, but all of the details would leave enough information for Franklin to be the only possible suspect. The streets are now talking. I don't believe the consequences of that article ends here in this scene. Behind closed doors, Franklin is folding and he's freaking out. But in front of the squad, he stands tall and steps up. That shows how much of a human he is.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen to you. Nothing. And why is that? Cause I'm gonna step in front of the bullet. Like I did with that Judas motherfucker Kevin, like I did with that bitch ass Andre, and like I always have, to keep y'all safe. Now, if you got some constructive ideas to help me get through this shit, then I promise you I'm listening, I promise. But if not, then please keep your heads down, keep your mouth shut, and let me get us out of this like I got us out of every other motherfucking thing else.
He's not this invincible character. He does have feelings, but he's also the man.
Which I don't.
I told you when Franklin was going to meet him that y'all couldn't follow him ain't my fault.
So you saying it's mine?
I'm saying Franklin ain't stupid. He gonna figure this out, and when he does, I'm a dead woman.
See, here you can see she knows Franklin is going to figure it out. And Manboy is overly confident and he thinks he's smarter than Franklin.
So you think Franklin the nigga you need to worry about? ain't never thought about doing no redecorating up in here? It feel tight.
Teddy is overwhelmed with grief and self-pity at this
Si
point.
estabas supuesto a ayudarnos, esto es tu culpa.
Gustavos is reading the article, and it's the first look we get at it, and the headline reads, "The CIA and the Drug King of South Central." And the tagline says, "How the U.S. government secretly financed the war by pumping drugs into the black neighborhood." He really going for it with these headlines.
I want your CIA masters.
I haven't heard of the Great Liberation in the South Bay. They freed the slaves.
Her saying master seems so judgmental, not to mention racist, as if they control. You can make a case that they do, but he is very much in control of his own business. But then again, that's modern day slavery, I guess. Okay, maybe she's right. Maybe she has a point.
You either join the system and become what you hate, or fight it and let it destroy you.
So, what's it gonna be?
Well, that's just it. Now I don't have to choose. I found the best of both worlds. Their system, my way.
This is such a deep conversation, and I don't know where I fall in this argument. On one hand, he's richer than he's ever been, but on the other hand, he is a puppet destroying his community. Can you destroy and build simultaneously? Or does the ends justify the means? What's y'all thoughts on this? Comment down below.
A government agency waging an illegal war, dealing drugs, getting criminals absolved of murder. Well, then you of all people should know that there's nothing they won't do to kill that story.
He's tried to warn her, like everyone else has. I don't understand why she doesn't imagine anything different.
You the one out here setting fires, and then you gonna blame me when the shit get hot. Oh, fuck all of that. I'm putting all your bitches on notice right now. Yeah, and that started with me going to Fatback funeral. Cause them boys in the projects, they're the only ones I can trust right now.
If Jerome knew they was coming, he should have been more cautious, and they should have just been smarter. God dang. This is the first time we really see how much money he has. $21 million.
How can I help?
You being here is help enough.
Look, I know this means you might have eyes on you, have trouble moving around. So if you need anything, and I mean anything taken care of while you got heat, I got you.
T is starting to get more aggressive in her attempts, and I think this is where the suspicions begin. So obviously they shot this scene in the pandemic. There's a fake background, artificial sun, and inserted children and birds audio. It's just an interesting scene, I thought.
A token of our faith.
Yes. Unfortunately, circumstances have changed.
Louie gets shot, and here goes T overhearing stuff with her sneaky tail, inserting herself into the mix yet again.
Khadijah.
Yeah, her and these two bitches might have been in to kill Fatback.
I can find out who they were.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, T. Not with Alton.
No, not with Alton. I'm done getting caught between the two of you. No longer mother and wife first. Start taking care of myself.
Like I told y'all, everyone has a breaking point, and here's Chrissy's.
What I need from you is to put a muzzle on your father. Is that something that you can do?
Well, he failed at doing.
Manboy been after your plug.
Everybody want to hook up, it ain't no secret.
Yeah, but apparently Drew been leaning into it heavy. Boy, borderline obsessed.
Drew has him.
Yeah. Make a deal with Manboy. Agree to offer him the plug. In exchange, he talks Khadijah down. Broker's piece.
It was at this moment that Franklin knew. She had overplayed her cards just a bit too much. Like, why would she be in contact with Manboy? Why would she be able to tell him something like that? And that's what got Franklin thinking back to that plug situation. When he was getting somebody chasing him for the plug, and she saying, Manboy wants your plug, it was easy for Franklin to put two and two together. You can tell he's hearing Reed's voice in his head. He just cannot believe it's true, but he knows she's setting him up. So he set her up. Franklin always has a plan that no one else can imagine. I think he believed her. That's why he didn't shoot her right away.
Hey, T.
Franklin is the only person in this show that doesn't make decisions based off emotions. Everything he does is well thought out. Even if you think him saving Leon is emotional, he still had a well thought out plan.
Come on. Come on!
You want some more?
Franklin has been favoring that shoulder all season long, and Jerome knew it. That's why he punched him there. He knew it would put him down.
I knew I was gonna be here.
You was always smart, Joe. Just not as smart as you thought you was.
I think Franklin knew Manboy would be there for this very reason. Whether she was telling the truth or not, Manboy was gonna be skeptical and double check with her. And he probably was going to kill her regardless. So it was super smart on Franklin's behalf to know that, and you have to know the people you're in business with.
Saint killed Drew.
Man, I just don't understand how they can't see how their actions just leads to more deaths. Whether it's on their side or the other side, it's just not solving the problem.
You gonna have to get that hate out your heart.
Man, I mean, Scully gets it.
If it was me that got killed, would you forgive?
And here we go again with foreshadowing.
We'll get your money. Always have an exit plan. Watch your back. They don't care about you.
Teddy gives Gustavos this advice, but I believe he's also taking this advice for himself. He already knows what's up. I actually think, on the low, Reed is more into drug dealing than he want to let on. He's not really into it for the CIA anymore. Like, for what? Plotting and scheming is a common theme in this show. And if you were wondering how Reed found her so easily, this is the same bar she met Alton at. She met Franklin here, so clearly she's often there. So the alcohol, her ego, and desire to get the story are the only things that she has. And it's ultimately what becomes her downfall. Every time we see her, she's drinking, and I mentioned that before, but now let me just show y'all how much she drinks.
Look, he's still continuing on with the investigation.
Questioning about...
No. Let's hear it.
Got this DEA agent I can't find. I promise. The story I've been chasing all these years.
Oh snap, did Franklin tell Teddy about her drinking habits?
I see why you and my father get along.
And at this point, everyone knows that Alton is next.
His family, his partners, everybody that had a hand in my baby's dying. I don't give a fuck if it's his mama house.
He said it. Scully went straight to his mama house.
Listen, brother, only a fool would believe there was some accident. After what we did, story she wrote, this was no accident. Irene Abe was murdered by the CIA.
Why? Why would he do this? How does this help anyone at this point? What is he doing? This is completely out of spite at this point because he cannot possibly believe that this would help Franklin.
Motherfucker just broke into your mother's house trying to kill anybody he could find. Shit happens so often now, nobody even calls the cops.
Alton is right here. The only time you see the police is when they are working with Franklin in this entire show. They never just pop up at the scene of the crime. And also, this is yet another time that Franklin is trying to save someone that we as an audience think he might want to just let it go.
You gonna try to justify that shit you do? Geopolitics, manifest destiny, spread of democracy and freedom?
I'm telling you, these are just ideas. I'm a person.
He is wrong. Reed is just a person and a pawn, just like everyone else. Ugh, this standoff is epic. Both of them. It's 2 3-party standoffs going simultaneously at the same time, and they mirror each other. They both have a black man who's been shot, who's desperate, jaded, and full of pain from all that has happened to his family. Do y'all see this duality? That's pretty dope. Reed makes this decision to save his relationship with Franklin. The two of these guys are so similar. My goodness. This episode is wrapping up, but Reed and Franklin are playing the same game in 2 different arenas.
Some things we need to talk about. What it's gonna mean for all of us going forward.
It's at this point, Jerome already knows that him and Louie are moving on.
Starting to get stronger isn't the right move going forward.
It is for us. We've been following you a long time, Franklin. Done everything you said. But we the ones that made it right.
At this point, Franklin doesn't need his cane anymore. So that scene at the end with Mel was all to intimidate her. In this scene, his cane is nowhere to be found. He walks away without it. He goes on talking to Leon without it. He don't need that cane. It's been a few weeks because Alton's shoulder is better and he is reading The Spook Who Sat by the Door, which is a book about a CIA agent who tries to destroy the entire system from within. Pretty interesting, and I think there's foreshadowing for next season. And then Reed shows up and I don't think he kills Alton. I think he wants his help. And I'll discuss that some other time and why I came to that conclusion. But I don't think Alton dies. And like I said before, that last scene was all put on for Mel to notice that Franklin is untouchable and she better leave him alone. Because she made him stronger, and that's why he brought that cane, to hang it up and to be menacing and terrified. And I think he struck a lot of fear in her heart. But that has been my complete breakdown of Snowfall Season 4. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Like I said, if the first video hits 100 likes and this video does the same, I will go straight into breaking down each season from Season 1 on upward. And then I'll also have a prediction video where I'll get into what I think is going to happen next season, right before the 5th season episode is put out. So thank you guys for rocking with me, and until next time, man, I'm out.